Today, we're going to react to La Liga President Tebas' embarrassing response to Vinicius' comment on racism.
Over the last 24 hours, footage has emerged. Vinicius Jr. being racially abused after being taken off as a substitute. This, of course, not the first time this has happened to the Brazilian this season. And he took to Twitter to speak about it. This is what the Brazilian World Cup.
So, what you saw in the footage where Vinicius was walking after he was subbed off, and there were a lot of racist comments and racist slur in the stadium. And that's when he posted this status.
So I had to say, racists continue to go to stadiums and watch the biggest club in the world up close, and La Liga continues to do nothing. I will continue with my head held high and celebrating my victories and those of Madrid. In the end, it's my fault. And then
what Vinicius said in his comment or his post, there's nothing wrong. Not a single point, not a single alphabet, not a single word is wrong. Everything is right. He's right to say that La Liga didn't do anything at all. Have we seen anything from La Liga after Atletico racism? We haven't.
And quite an extraordinary statement from Tebas, who was, of course, in charge of La Liga. At La Liga, we have been fighting racism for years. Vini Jr. is very unfortunate, unfair, and it's not true to publish that La Liga does nothing against racism. Inform yourself better. We're at your disposal so that all together we can go in the same direction.
This is so embarrassing from Tebas. It's not acceptable. He even doesn't concede that what Vinicius said is absolutely true. He even denies that La Liga doesn't do anything against racism. First of all, when Vinicius received the racist slur from the Valladolid fans, we haven't seen any status, any comments, any posts from Tebas or condemning this kind of behavior and promising that he will take action against racism. We did not see that. Instead of denying what Vinicius said, what he could say, we are really sorry, it's really unfortunate that you have to suffer this racism and we'll take strong action. We did not see that. That's how the response should be.
Jack, I don't know where to start with Tebas' statement, in all honesty. I mean, if you want to talk about La Liga fighting racism for years and you want to provide evidence of that, ask Samuel Eto'o, ask Dani Alves, ask Vinicius Jr. what has happened in the last year that maybe points to that, as opposed to just telling everybody that you're fighting racism and you've been doing so for years. Tell everybody what you've been doing. Show us some kind of evidence of that. But with no evidence, certainly within the stadiums, certainly especially as far as Vinicius Jr. is concerned, I'm not sure how you, as the head of a league, I'm not sure how you, as any right-thinking adult human being, sits down and pens that as a response to Vinicius Jr. in a moment where quite clearly, and there is evidence, yet again, of the racist abuse that he is facing, how you write that as a response. And now, once again, the game will move on. We'll talk about something else over the next couple of weeks. This will be forgotten. The league will do nothing about it until somebody goes and abuses another black player in the league again, and Tebas will probably just regurgitate that same old rhetoric. It's not convincing to anybody who's paying any attention. It's not convincing to any of the black players in the league. Tebas has to do better. I'm not sure how, but quite clearly he is not inclined to do so himself.
So as Shaka rightly pointed out, what is the evidence? Tebas, show us evidence that you have taken action, that La Liga has taken actions. Because we haven't seen any action at all.
Tebas, who quite happily pokes his nose in other leagues' financial affairs and voices his dismay at business models of leagues and clubs and whatnot. He's quite happy to get involved in that, even when it's not in his jurisdiction. And yet, the one thing that is a major problem under his nose, under his jurisdiction, he chooses to pretty much ignore.
Yeah.
So he's quite happy to fight a lot of battles, but he doesn't seem to want to pick a fight in this battle, that's for sure.
So what Craig is saying that Tebas talks a lot. He's a big mouther, right? He likes to talk. He likes to talk about trivial things that doesn't matter for La Liga, like other leagues and all kind of stuff. Now, for me, I have no issue when you talk about other leagues. That's fine. But when you have issue about your own league, you have to first focus on those things. You have to distinct what's priority, what's less important thing.
Thing was, there was almost an inevitability about it when the referee made Vinicius Jr. leave the pitch as a substitute at the furthest point when he had to walk in front of those fans. And we see in these videos, these isn't a handful of fans. It is hundreds of supporters who are chanting racial abuse at Vinicius Jr. The league has to step up, doesn't it? Has to do something.
I thought we already had this conversation, Dan, following the game against Atletico Madrid, where you could hear in the stadium, a good majority of the stadium, really, you could hear them chanting mono, 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 which if you don't know, it's monkey, monkey, monkey. They were already doing this to Vinicius Jr. against Atletico Madrid. And to the point that Shaka was making, that time just goes by and nothing really happens. Well, there were supposed to be fans that were going to be persecuted, right? And then early in December, a Spanish prosecutor comes out and says, no, we cannot treat this as a crime because it only happened for a few seconds. And look, it was in the middle of a maximum rivalry. It was a heated moment. So if it is for a short period of time and it is within the boundaries of a rivalry, then yeah, sure, you can be a racist.
Oh my God, what LA said, if that's true, like prosecutors saying that if it's a rival match, you can say racist thing because it's a small amount of time. Come on, what kind of stupidity is that? If the lawmakers are saying that, then how can you eradicate racism from the society? That means this problem is from the society itself. Doesn't matter how long you say racist slur, 20 minutes, 20 seconds, 2 hours, it doesn't matter. Racist slur is racist slur. Racism is racism, regardless of the time limit or duration.
This is the message coming from a prosecutor, from the guy from a person who represents the law in Spain. So, yes, we are right to focus on Tebas, but this is a society issue. If a person who represents the laws, the legal system in Spain is telling you that, look, if you're racist for a few seconds, and if it is within the boundaries of a rivalry, it's okay. Go ahead and do it. It tells you everything that you need to know as to how significant and how big of a problem this is. It's not a few people. It's not just a couple of guys in the corner. No, it's something that is well within entrenched the fan bases, and until it is addressed and until it becomes zero tolerance, it will continue to happen.
Exactly. If lawmakers are saying this racism will never go away. It will stay. Because if the lawmakers think racism is okay, then how come we be better as a society? It's impossible. Listen, if we want to stop racism, first of all, we have to take strong action. No matter what, strong actions are needed to stop this. Second of all, we have to acknowledge, especially from the president of the La Liga and the lawmakers, that this racism is not okay. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about Tebas' comment about Vinicius' racism post?